Hello, this is Joe with Smoking Joe's Pit Barbecue, and you are listening to the Barbecue Central Show.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Good evening and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all the most important things that are happening in the world of live fire, barbecue, and grilling. This show originates from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire, fun, and frivolity show. If you'd like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at BBQCentralShow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, you would typically find a monthly opening segment from our pal over at How to Barbecue Right, the pitmaster of Killer Hogs competition team, Malcolm Reed. However, he is unavailable this evening. However, the best move ever, filling in for Malcolm Reed. Maybe you know her, Rachelle Reed, for the first time on the show. And unless I misread what Malcolm was writing me about a week ago through text message, first time Rachelle has appeared outside of the How to Barbecue Right environment in its totality. So truly humbled that she has made time for the show this evening. So we will do a little normal stuff, and then we will do an abridged origin story of Rachelle Reed. We'll also talk about some holiday things that are going to be coming up. So whole first hour dedicated to Rachelle and her first visit here to the Barbecue Central Show. Then we'll move to the second hour where you will find quarterly guest and the last time for 2024 before he re-ups for 2025. Hopefully our pal over at Another Pint Please, Mike Lang, author of One Beer Grilling, which is still selling like hotcakes. So we'll talk to Mike about what he's been up to over the last 90 days, things that he's been working on in collaboration with Weber, all that fun stuff, get some gift ideas that Mike has for the holiday season. Everybody's asking Mike, what should I be getting my live fire loved one this year in 2024? Do I have to get a wireless thermometer to be cool, or can I get something else? Mike will answer all those questions in their entirety, and without holding back one single reservation. So that's how the show's setting up here this evening. Two guests, but two big guests. Rachelle Reed, first hour. Mike Lang, second hour. And I'll fill in the rest as I see fit. Don't forget, you can follow me socially on Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Snapper Snaps, and the LinkedIns, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. We, of course, say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of our video streaming platforms, which can be found at facebook.com/BBQ Central Show or twitter.com/BBQ Central Show. You can also watch the show on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. And if you're over at YouTube, we have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody watching through YouTube and all guests. Is Malcolm Reed the most influential person in live fire today? And currently 78% of you are saying yes, Malcolm is the most influential person in live fire today. In fact, it just bumped up by 2%. Now 80% of you are saying Malcolm is indeed the most influential person in live fire today. I don't question that. I'm right along with the 80% of you that said that. Of course, I answered that question last week with the embedded correspondence when I brought that up. I think 3/5 of us agreed that Malcolm Reed was the most influential person in live fire today, and it's continuing to rise now at 82%. The only question that I have for the poo-pooers, who's more influential? Write it in, text it in, Facebook it in. We got some live chat here, so a live chat rolling here tonight, so would love to get your feedback on who is more influential than our pal Malcolm Reed, but happy to see it as we've ticked up another percentage point. Now 2 more percentage points at 85%. It's turning into a boat race, but we'll see how it finishes through the rest of the evening here tonight. Results from the poll question last week, Susie Bullock is the most underrated live fire talent in the industry today, and 56% of you said no. I'll disagree, but that's fine.
A Barbecue Central Show exclusive news update.
Greg Rempe reporting from the breaking news desk right here in Cleveland, Ohio, the city that breaks the most live fire breaking news across the country. Nay, the globe. I'm going to mention this name, and I'm going to mention another name. The name over here, Weber. The name over here, Blackstone. What does that mean? That means we're going to take them both together, and boom, Weber and Blackstone products to combine. I didn't mean to do the buzzer there. That was all cheering. As mentioned, December 2nd, yesterday, Weber and Blackstone products today announce they have entered into a definitive agreement to combine their businesses. Terms of the transaction were not disclosed, but I've heard it on good authority. There are bags and bags of cash that are part of this. Weber recognized as an iconic global barbecue brand, 70 plus years. Blackstone, founded in 2008 by friend of show CEO Roger Daly, pioneering outdoor griddles. The combination will bring 2 iconic brands in outdoor cooking together, joining Weber's portfolio of grilling products with Blackstone's complementary griddle product lineup. In a quote, we share Blackstone's customer-centric emphasis and deep commitment to continuous innovation. That's said by Chief Executive Officer of Weber, Alan Matula. Roger Daly said, and I quote, we are thrilled to join with Weber and bring together 2 outdoor cooking industry innovators to create immense value for our customers and team members alike. With our complementary portfolios and similar cultures, I could not have imagined a better partner for Blackstone than Weber. Following the close of the transaction, Daly, Roger, our friend, will serve as CEO of the combined company. He will also maintain a significant equity stake in the combined company as well. At the same time, Matula will retire from the company, serving as CEO of Weber since 2002. Yeah, all the way back since 2002, Matula will now hit the bricks and retire from Weber at that point. Transaction expected to close early 2025, subject to regulatory clearance and other customary closing conditions. Until that time, Weber and Blackstone will continue to operate as separate independent companies. Upon completion of the transaction, the combined company will maintain a presence in both Palatine, Illinois, and Logan, Utah. That would be Weber and Blackstone, respectively. I continue to ask the question, what is going on in Utah that I don't know about? Traeger in Utah, Blackstone in Utah, Gosney Pizza in Utah, Rectech in Utah. The list goes on. Our pal Rusty Monson from the great city of Utah in Utah. Live fire is bubbling out there where it snows most of the time. Not that it doesn't snow most of the time here in Cleveland. I'm anxious to see how this all works out. Of course, I feverishly hit the keyboards, shot a message off to my close personal friend, CEO of Blackstone, Roger Daly. Said, can't wait to have you on so we can discuss all the particulars, including all the zeros at your bank account now. And he said, Bob McClurg's right. ThermalWorks, also in Utah. And he said, as soon as all the closing stuff is done and he gets the okay from whoever it is he gets an okay from, he's coming back on the show. So look for that, let's say, end of January, maybe in February. By the way, we do have a February. We have a first Tuesday in March with Michael Simon, who's releasing a new book as well. So we just got on the books. The big show continuing to be the really big barbecue show. By the way, thanks to Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com for the news tip on Weber and Blackstone getting together. All right, Rachelle Reed is ready to go. Before we get to her, we're talking about Schwank Grills. That's right. You would recall that the really great savings deal expired yesterday. But today I'm here with a great deal and all brand new. Purchasers of a Schwank Grill get a custom Christmas bundle now through Christmas. Hurry up. Don't wait. Don't be a procrastinator. What do you get when you get the Christmas bundle from Schwank? When you buy the grill, it now includes a free grill cover. Very nice. A pizza peel, a pizza stone, an apron if you wear those. Also a cutting board. The savings are immeasurable. The convenience is there. You're also now turning your really cool infrared grill into a infrared pizza oven. You know the bounce time is going to be incredibly quick. If you don't know about the Schwank Grill, this is infrared technology that's being used in some of the best commercial steakhouses available. Morton Steakhouse, Del Frisco's, Cut 432. Not using technology like Schwank Grills, using the Schwank Grill technology in those locations. So if you've had a great steak there, you were wondering how I might be able to make one myself at home, this is how you do it easily and affordably. And remember, attaining a 1500 degree temperature allows you to do that sear that everybody loves. We have many different levels. You can adjust the intensity by raising or lowering whatever it is you're cooking on the shelf. Very easy. Take advantage of that drip tray as well. You can make a nice board sauce. It's all heated. So many ways to enjoy it, and portable. And once again, the Christmas bundle includes a free grill cover, a pizza stone, a pizza peel, an apron, and a cutting board. No promo code needed. Just head on over to the website, SCHWANK, schwankgrills.com. We are back with Rachelle Reed for the first time ever in the world. Stick around. I'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by cookinpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all the pellet-driven cookers in your life. You visit cookinpellets.com to see their products, and then when you're ready to purchase, go to Amazon.com or Walmart.com or Lowe's.com. Same great products, just great shipping rates to boot. It's great folks over at cookinpellets.com. Normally, as I mentioned in the open, this is where you see our pal Malcolm Reed and I chopping it up about what's happening in the barbecue and grilling industry, but he is otherwise busy doing manly type things this month. But we already knew that. So he reminded me, as much last weekend and then gave me the best news I have gotten as it relates to the show in recent memory. Normally, when Malcolm is out, Mark Williams from Swine Life Barbecue sits in, which is always a treat on its own. But this time around, he said someone else has agreed to fill in, someone who I have chased for literally years to be a guest. But tonight, in the growing height of the holiday season, I have been given a gift that I will now open with all of you. So for the first time, we welcome the other side of How to Barbecue Life, Rachelle Reed. Rachelle, good evening.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
I am absolutely fabulous. I'm so excited to have you here for the first time. So let's do it the right way. YouTube poll question of the week, which I'm sure is going to be a little biased considering you're married to him. I'm asking everybody this, including all guests. Is Malcolm Reed the most influential person in live fire today? Yes or no?
I've got to say yes. What do you think I'm going to say no?
So 83% of us are agreeing that Malcolm is the most influential. My question to everybody else is, if you say no, who's more influential? So somebody who has their finger on the pulse, like who else would you champion if we had to kick Malcolm to the curb?
I mean, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Pittman, maybe. Yeah. Now you got me stumped. Heath. Heath is up in there.
He's right around you guys too, right? Heath Riles?
Yeah, real close. Practically neighbors.
Are you that close?
Yeah, we're one town apart.
Interesting. Well, let me bend down just for a second. That sounds weird in a vacuum. A gift that I never thought I was going to get. Number one, interview with Rachelle Reed. Number two, look at this thing. It is a condiment and topping warmer. Something you would find perhaps at a baseball game or some type of sporting event or a gas station that serves nachos. This is incredible.
Or your next party, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's the most impractical gift, but you're going to use it so much. And a jar of cheese costs you like $10, maybe less than that. So you show up to a party with that and a jug of cheese and some chips, you're going to be the star of the show.
Do you show up to parties with that in hand? Have you done that?
Heck yeah.
Wow.
Why would you not?
So aside from the cheese, it comes with a variety of placards, peanuts, peanut butter, fruit stuff, chili. I could see putting a little Skyline stuff or filling it up with some Skyline. Yep. But it's just cheese basically, right?
It's just cheese, yeah.
Wow.
I've never used it for anything else, so.
Well, now
enjoy that.
The Christmas parties that I show up to, they're going to get 6 pounds of cheese and 12 pounds of nachos. It's going to be great. So thank you very much for that. We're going to put it to good use. Malcolm mentioned last month he was going on a hunt for bison up in North Dakota. Is that where he is right now?
Yes. Actually, he's in Texas right now hunting axis deer.
Really? This guy's a major league hunter.
He tries to be, yeah. But he's coming back in on Wednesday and then flying back out on Thursday to go to North Dakota to bison hunt.
If successful, he mentioned he could be hauling back in excess of 700 pounds of various bison meat cuts. Have you been busy recipe planning?
No.
No?
I'm going to let them have that. But they have been busy planning how they're going to get the meat back, how they're going to get it processed, what they're going to do with it. Because that's a lot of meat.
I mean, it's almost a half a ton, 300 pounds short of half a ton of meat, of various cuts. And I've had bison steak before. There used to be a restaurant on the Far East Side from where I'm at that was known for some of the exotic cuts, ostrich, something or other, bison, whatnot. And I've never had a bad experience with it. I've had bison burgers before with some ground bison, lean, good flavor. So I think this isn't like a raccoon or something. A bear meat, I heard, is like real greasy and gamey. This might be a big win. Plus, it's 700 pounds. You could be eating for like 5 years.
Yeah, we're gonna be giving out a lot of bison meat. But I've always liked bison every time I've tried it. I've never tried ostrich though. How was that? Did you try that one?
I did because I had to, because anybody that worked there had to eat the game. So in case somebody stopped you on the sly and was like, oh, is this really good or whatever, you could at least give an honest opinion. It was probably 15 years ago. I don't remember being offended by it. I don't remember saying I got to figure out where I can get a line on ostrich meat to have at the ready. So one of those experience things more than anything else for me.
Yeah.
Have you had camel from Kevin?
We have it. We haven't cooked it and tried it. And I'm ready. I want to try it.
Yeah. Are you an adventurous eater?
I'm curious. Yeah. I'll try anything once, as long as it's prepared by somebody that, knows what they're doing somewhat.
Does Malcolm
I'll
have
try anything
an
once.
extensive background in preparing camel?
No.
So what's the plan for that?
He has extensive, yeah. I really don't know. He said he's going to watch some YouTube videos on it.
Of course, that's where we go for all information.
Yeah.
A few years back.
It'd make a cool TikTok. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. So a few years back, I do an origin story with Malcolm Reed, but I don't know if there is an origin story of Rachelle Reed, at least of any consequence, that's currently available out there for people to get to know you a little bit more. So let's try and get one down for the history books and do an abridged origin story of Rachelle Reed. So first and foremost, where did you grow up?
Florence, Mississippi. It's a tiny little Mississippi town. Grew up there. When I graduated high school, I went to Mississippi State. Graduated there, and I knew a bunch of people living in Memphis, so I just said, hey, sounds good. Came to Memphis, had big plans, was not going to stay in Memphis very long, but then I met Malcolm. And we started dating, and we got married. And at the time, I had jobs in internet marketing, and I was doing all that like way back in the day when that was like all brand new. And when he kind of got laid off, we had this idea to start making barbecue videos. Well, first we had a website, and then we did a newsletter. And then somebody said, hey, video is going to be the next big thing. So we started making YouTube videos, and we had no idea what we were doing. And, it's kind of grown from there.
I'll dig into that a little bit more here, but just on you, as you're growing up, before you get into college, before you meet Malcolm, all this other stuff, what kind of a cooking household are you growing up in? And are you a lone stir, or do you have brothers and sisters?
I have an older brother and a younger brother. And my household, my mother, I hate to say it, but she wasn't the best cook. My dad was a really good cook. My grandmothers and aunts were really great cooks. So that was kind of the cornerstone of, any family get together. My dad actually used to build barbecue grills. He was a welder, and he did it himself. And he would build these big kind of old drum barbecue grills. And every 4th of July, he'd cook a whole hog. It was kind of like something he got excited about and loved to do. So that might be kind of where I started getting a love for barbecue. And it was more the aspect of, feeding everybody and having half the town come over and do this big barbecue, and all the work we had to do to prepare to get ready for everybody to come over. So that's kind of where I started developing that.
Is the house like a teaching household as far as cooking is concerned? I have so I'm, I'm certainly no Southerner, right? I'm a Yank, born in Elmira, New York, and stuff like that. But my mom, amazing cook, would have always. I'm sure she would have been happy to teach. I don't ever recall asking her to teach me how to do anything. Certainly, not from a young age, but certainly loved the way she cooked. Great cook, and didn't get into it until I was later, and I kind of had to do it to live. In the South, I have a perhaps stereotype that every kid is dragged into the kitchen, and mom or grandmother or both are like, hey, Rachelle, or hey, Malcolm, or hey, Waylon, you're going to learn how to make these biscuits. You're going to learn how to make this family dish, or you're going to learn how to do this because this is what we do down here. More stereotype, or is that more the norm?
I think if you're interested and you're sticking around the kitchen, they're going to show you. You need to learn this, and it's a big thing with, especially my family. They want to pass recipes down. They want somebody to continue to make these old family recipes even when they're gone. So that's a big thing with us. And there was a lot of, hey, we need help. You're getting in here and you're going to do the, you're going to chop some onions. You're going to butter these biscuits. You're going to do whatever needs to be done.
Is there a
So it's both a little bit of a teaching and a little bit of putting us to work.
Is there a favorite family recipe that you are going to make sure that you pass down?
Chicken and dumplings. My grandmother showed me how to make chicken and dumplings, and I still make them, and I'm real proud of my chicken and dumpling recipe. So that's definitely one. There's a lot of like fudge recipes and candy making recipes that we associate with Christmas time, this time of year. And my other grandmother taught me how to make those. So I'm not nearly as good as she is. That's a lot of work. Candy making is some serious stuff. So
what kind of a high school student?
Those are the big two. Quiet, shy,
sports,
surprise,
sports, anything like that, or just
in elementary school, sure, yeah. High school, I was just trying to get out of there. Yeah.
You said you went to, was it Memphis State?
No.
Mississippi State. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes, and Bulldogs.
Was it, did you have to go to college? Did you want to go to college? You feel like you had to go to college? What was that about?
Oh, no, I wanted to get out of my small town and go somewhere and see something new. And that was the logical step. And college seemed like a lot of fun. And college was a lot of fun.
What'd you major in?
Public relations and communications.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's paying off now, right?
A little bit, yeah. Halfway through, I decided, I think I'd be better suited for marketing because public relations people are real outgoing and real talkative and stuff. And that's really not me. But I decided I wanted to change to marketing, and they told me it was going to take an extra semester. And I said, public relations is just fine.
Yeah.
So, because I deliver, I had to put myself through college and deliver pizzas and stuff. So I was trying to get out and get a real job.
When you look back on it, knowing what you know now, would you continue to do it because of the experience, or would you forego it and figure out a different way?
Forgo what?
College.
Oh, no, I needed the experience.
Yeah.
It was a perfect little landing spot between, small town, high school, parents' house to adult. It gave you that nice little cushion.
How old is Michael nowadays?
He's 15.
All right, 15. So
He's got his learner's permit.
Getting there, right? Becoming
He's driving us around. Yeah.
Young man, I get that. Are you encouraging him to look at college? Do you even talk about it at this point? Do you want him to go no matter what? What's your parenting skill on that?
Every kid's different. He's really good at school. I feel like he would be really good in college. Our only rule is that, like, once you get out, you got to do something. You're not just going to, hang out around the house and watch TV all day. If you want to go get a job, go get a career, go start working on your career. If you want to go to college, go start working on that. But you got to start doing something. You got to start moving in some direction. That's really our only big role. But whatever he wants to do is up to him.
So you get out of college, and then you're moving up to Memphis at that point?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. I didn't have a job. I had a buddy that needed a roommate, and I said, I'll do it. I'll be there. And I just showed up, and I found a job with this tiny little startup internet company. And that was kind of unheard of back then, because this is like 2002, 2003, something like that. But I just loved it. I loved the aspect of it. And I was building websites and setting up sales funnels and doing AdSense and things like that. And that was kind of a crash course in learning all the foundation of kind of what we've done over the years.
How do you
I brought that knowledge to the table, and Malcolm brought like the barbecue cooking knowledge, and he brought the charm. So
how do you meet Malcolm?
in a bar,
Just randomly, you meet this
Probably
guy?
we had mutual friends.
Yeah.
We had some mutual friends, and we were all kind of hanging out, and we met in a bar, and I think he liked me a lot more than he was more interested in me than I was interested in him at the time.
How does Malcolm woo you? Like, if you're not so interested, I'm not saying you weren't interested in, but you can tell who's more into who right up front, right? So how does he woo you?
He
Just wear you down?
Malcolm's biggest plan. No, Malcolm's biggest plan in life at that time was what he was doing Saturday night. Who was having the party? I had this degree. I was trying to buy a house. I was, trying to build a career, and Malcolm was just having a good time. And we had a really good time together. And I would always say, I'm not gonna marry him or nothing. We're just having a good time. And then I messed around and
found out,
fell in love, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And he was he architect at that point, or?
No, he was a bellhop at that point. He was working at the casinos.
Was he still in?
And it was
still in
shortly
college.
Oh yeah, all right. One of the iterations of college, probably. Yeah. Malcolm seems like he is. He's very put together, very professional these days. But back in his 20s, he was just having a good time.
So when you guys are now dating, and I guess eventually, how long do you date before you get married? Pretty quick, or you guys roll it out a little bit?
No, it was like 5 years.
Oh, all right.
It was something like that. Yeah. We dated for a really long time, but I was young. I was 22, 23 when we met. So, and we got married when, in 2008, found out we were pregnant like 2 months later.
Yeah.
And so it kind of happened quick after that.
Great Recession on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So as you are now a young married couple, like what's life like? 'Cause I think a lot of people only know you guys as the How to Barbecue Right juggernaut and all the various landscapes and all this other, especially over the last 10, 12 years. But you had a life before that. So what's life like before the juggernaut of How to Barbecue Right?
It was kind of tough. I was at that point, I was freelance working. So I was working from home. And, Malcolm got laid off about that time, like right after we had our kid. And it was tough. We kind of made this decision that we had just enough money to save to get us, I think it was like 8 months or something like that. And so we said, we're going to live off my salary and this money we got saved up, and we're going to see if we can make it work. And if we run out of money, we'll, go get a real job. And I think that kind of, what they say, hungry dogs run the fastest or something. But having to do that was kind of tough. So we would, we had a brand new baby, and I was still working from home. We were trying to sell, our rub online and doing all our pick, pack, and shipping from our garage. Doing the videos, the social stuff, the newsletters, and picking up any job we could find. Catering job. We sold turkeys at Thanksgiving, sold hams at Christmas. Anything that, whatever needs to be done. We always kind of found a way, but money was tight, months were long, money was short.
Can we stop? Can we stop here just for 1 second, and then we'll come back and pick up your look back at It's a Wonderful Life here in December?
Sure.
All right. Rachelle Reed joining us here on the show. We'll get back in just one moment. Before we do that, I will talk to you quickly about 50% of my wardrobe. Here's the other 50% here. So How to Barbecue Right is outfitting me on the undershirt, and Pits and Spits right there is giving me the outer shirt. If you're serious about your grilling game, then you need to check out the latest from Pits and Spits. They've just launched 2 game-changing products that will take your outdoor cooking to the next level: the griddle and the built-in pellet grill. Starting with the griddle, Combines the power of traditional grill with the versatility of a flat-top griddle engineered with precision and crafted from top-quality materials. Versatile Griddle is set to revolutionize your outdoor cooking experience. Constructed of 304 marine-grade stainless steel, a fully welded design. The griddle comes with 4 burners to accurately manage your heat zone and gets to a blistering 80,000 BTUs. Made with the Pits and Spits signature quality, the griddle is designed to last for generations. And for those of you building your outdoor ultimate cooking kitchen, you have to check out the built-in pellet grill designed for discerning grill masters who demand top-tier performance. This grill is the centerpiece of any serious outdoor kitchen. From low and slow smoking to high-heat searing, this grill can handle it all. Briskets, ribs, pizzas, veggies, you name it. This grill can cook it. With Pits and Spits legendary craftsmanship, you can be confident it's going to be built to last. With stainless steel construction and a design that's as reliable as it is versatile. So if you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head on over to pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central and use promo code BBQ Central for a free spice pack. With orders over $500, that's pitsandspits.com with a double T on the pits and the spits /BBQ Central. Use promo code BBQ Central for a free spice pack. We're back with more Rachelle Reed right after this. Stick around, be right back.
You're listening to the BBQ Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the BBQ Central Show.
This segment brought to you by Fireboard, makers of Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, Fireboard Beacon, and the ultra-new Fireboard Pulse wireless thermometer. When you use the Fireboard app, you have total access to all devices anywhere in the world. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232. Good folks over at Fireboard, as we are rejoined by Rachelle Reed. I've often said that How to Barbecue Right's YouTube channel was visionary in its launch. No one else was really doing that kind of content that you were doing. Granted, it doesn't look like the videos do today. Was there any point between then and where you are now where you and Malcolm talked about just dumping it all together and doing a reboot?
Yeah, I'm sure. We've had conversations about all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's kind of funny to look back on it now and say that it was visionary because that's not what we were thinking at the time, you know. We just got lucky. We thought it was a good idea and started doing it. And our main goal was like, if we could just not have to have real jobs. That was like our big main goal. We could work together and not have to have real jobs. So that's the only reason we did it. We weren't like some, you know, marketing geniuses on that one.
I remember before the YouTube channel, or maybe they were a little bit intertwined, but I was getting a weekly newsletter or monthly newsletter from Malcolm, and he was talking about something that was timely. I reach out to Malcolm and go, hey, let's, come on the show. And I think I was going live at that point, 2008, when I started doing the live shows. And he always seemed to be doing something topical that I thought was show relatable. And here, fast forward all these years, decades later, and, still showing up on the show, still doing things together, which I certainly appreciate. How do you know? How do you know video stuff? Does somebody say go out and buy something like this and just stand there and start? Or how do you even conceptualize the beginnings of the video?
We copied Food Network. We kind of grew up watching all those shows, and in college, we didn't hang out together in college, but separately we were watching cooking shows with our friends. And so we kind of took that concept and applied it to barbecue, backyard barbecue. And when it comes to like how to film or how to edit, we learned in real time. We got the cheapest camera we could get our hands on. And back in the day, we didn't even edit. it was like 8-part series on how to cook a brisket. It was terrible, it was horrible, but we just learned over time. And, we'd run into somebody who's like, hey, try this, or hey, have you tried this program? Or, and we slowly made enough money where we could buy a new camera. And so it's always kind of like we're constantly learning, we're constantly upgrading, and we're constantly trying to make it better.
I think, unquestioned, Malcolm is the face of the brand. He's cooking, he's developing recipes, he's relating to the everyday ham and egger out there manning the grill. You're certainly not out there looking for adulation, but how much work is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that you are solely responsible for?
That's a pretty good bit, especially back in the day when it was just us two. It was 50-50 at least. So anything that's kind of behind the scenes, I kind of did. He was testing recipes, and he shoots the videos, and he writes the recipes, and he makes, a lot of the business decisions and stuff like that. But for a long time, it was just us two doing it all. Now we've got a lot of help. We've got several employees and stuff, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But we've built a pretty good team here, so we kind of share the work now.
How hard is it to keep
I still
coming
end up doing
with,
way more than I want to.
like, what? Okay, if you could pull back, like, what would you like to relinquish off of your table? And are you not relinquishing because you like to have your hands in it? Like my boss at work is always like, oh, I'm trying to get my hands out of this, or I'm trying to get my hands out of that. But meanwhile, like, I know he wants his hands in it. So, like, do you like having your hands in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's nothing. It's got to be so tough, right? I mean, you've built. I mean, you guys are the quintessential face of live fire, especially when it comes to YouTube. So, knowing that it was you two building the brand that exists today, I mean, it would be an incredible ask for somebody to say, "Hey, Rachelle, just recuse yourself from 98% of the things that are going to be going on and do this instead," because of all the sweat equity that you've put into building where How to Barbecue Right is today.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because I'm a control freak or what, but I do kind of get nervous turning stuff over to people. And they make fun of me all the time. They're like, Shell's going to come along and go behind you and fix everything that you've done. But it is kind of tough to give it over to somebody, because you have this vision, you've kind of developed this relationship with this brand, how it is and how you want it to be. So it's hard to teach that to somebody else. And then once you learn to trust somebody and they kind of learn your vision, it becomes easier. And that's something that we've been able to do over the past few years, is really let some other people step up and do more things. Even we're starting back Out the Smoke, and Mark Williams is kind of taking that over, and it's going to be kind of a new podcast format. So it's something else we're adding to the mix.
How hard is it to keep coming up with fresh, engaging content?
It can be tough. Yeah. We keep a running list in our phones, both of us. We're always looking at TikTok. Malcolm reads cookbooks constantly. He's always looking for new cookbooks, old cookbook, new cookbooks. And it's not that you take ideas and copy them, but you take ideas and you say, hey, this is a great idea. Let's turn it into this, let's turn it into something we can cook on the grill, or, going out to restaurants, going traveling. And that's a big thing. It's always just trying new things, but trying to stay inspired and come up with new ideas is really tough. And sometimes you get burnout on doing the recipes and cooking, and it can get, a little tiring.
What's it like being around your husband and business partner all the time? I love asking this question to the couples that will come on the show, because to me, it's very unique. I have a wife. Yeah. I love her. She is a professional in no related field to mine. We do not have a joint business venture. We're not locked at the hip, or like our success is not dependent on our success together. And so we have that separation, but then there's folks like you and Malcolm and a bunch of other folks that I've talked to during the course of my time interviewing folks that are together, like successful competition teams and stuff like that are out there, husband and wife. How do you make it work?
Barbecue.
Yes, of course. So how do you make it work? Because there has to be points where you fundamentally disagree, and Malcolm is fundamentally disagreeing with your disagreement, but there has to be something done in order to keep the ship moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some days you kind of just want to stab them with the fork, But then me and Malcolm, we get along really, really well. We listen to each other pretty well. And really, I can't imagine doing it with anybody else. We kind of enjoy spending the time together usually. There's, like we said, we usually when we disagree on something, we'll sit down, we'll talk about it. I'll say my point of view, he'll say his point of view, and usually one of us goes, yeah, I guess you're right,
I think there is a YouTube money fascination with folks out there still, especially for those who don't know how the YouTube game changes fairly regularly. So as you look at the collective revenue streams of How to Barbecue Right, which is the best, and how has that changed over the years? Which revenue stream is the best? I think a lot of people want to go, well, it's got to be that YouTube money that everybody was talking about. But there's plenty of other things that you guys are into, retail stores, the rubs and seasonings and sauces and all this other stuff, apparel. What's the best revenue stream?
The rubs, the actual physical products on the shelves by far. A lot of people think that you make millions and millions of dollars on YouTube. And back in the day, like before we really got big and, started having the followers and subscribers, there were people at that million follower levels that were making super buku money.
Yeah.
But then YouTube just started making changes and cutting it down. And I guess around COVID, when most people started using YouTube a lot more because, everybody was at home and trying to do new hobbies and things like that. That's kind of when we did see probably the most money we've ever seen from YouTube. And it was good money, but it wasn't like, retire forever type money.
Yeah.
And then I guess YouTube decided they were tired of paying that much money. So they really cut it back. You just don't make as much as you might think.
What level?
Like me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, if we just lived off YouTube money, me and Malcolm could live, just us two, decent life, nice life. But we wouldn't have any employees or, we wouldn't be able to have this business.
Yeah. What level of interest does Michael have in any of this at the moment?
When he was little, a pretty good bit. He enjoyed it. He wanted to cook. He liked, he loved the SEA contest. He would make his own little cooking videos sometimes. Now he could care less. In fact, I think sometimes he gets embarrassed when people recognize his daddy. So
that was one of my questions was going to be, maybe this is not the way I should have worded it, but does Michael realize how popular that you and Malcolm are in this sector of the world? And what does he think if somebody would be like, hey, Malcolm, I watch you?
I mean, that it happens. He just kind of rolls his eyes and ignores it a little bit.
Because he's a teenager and it's weird? Or what?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a teenager.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine he kind of likes it a little bit. He thinks it's a little cool. Some people at his school know who his daddy is. And, when you're a teenager, you think having a YouTuber or TikToker or whatever, that's kind of cool. So there is that. But of course, he's going to tell us he's embarrassed by it.
Is there a time?
And roll his eyes. And
do you think he would take over at some point?
I asked him one day, and he said it seems like a lot of work. So,
But I mean, he's seen it kind of grow from nothing to he's grown right along with it. I mean, he's 15 years old. You guys have been doing it about 15 years, 16 years, whatever. So, I mean, he's seen only you guys work.
That's true. Back in the day, we used to have to go pick up rubs and sauces like in the back of Malcolm's pickup truck. We'd go to the truck line. They'd load the pallet in the back of the truck, and we'd drive it back to the house and, have to unload it piece by piece into the garage. And so we would make him get up there and hand us the rubs. So ever since he's been little, he's been unloading rubs and, going to contests and watching us do catering events and, stuff like that. So he has seen a lot of the work.
Do you think that there could be a time where entities of How to Barbecue Right exist, but the video component doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know. I feel like that is kind of the main part of it, What is it if we're not doing some sort of recipes and we're not doing some sort of cooking? So I haven't envisioned it, and we've never talked about it existing without the video component.
Have you guys ever been approached by a McCormick's or some super big company and asked to buy you guys out of the rubs?
No, but you can give them my number if they if they come asking.
Yeah, Malcolm always says on the show, accepting all or considering all offers.
Considering all offers.
Yeah.
Well, at least take a look.
Goal-wise, maybe even just for the first half of 2025, what are you guys planning for? 2025.
We're, one big thing that we've been kind of focusing on the past year or 2 years is we've kind of want to give back a little bit, I guess. There's so many guys out there doing barbecue videos and TikToks and stuff like that. And we kind of have a ambassador program, and we want to kind of teach those guys everything we know, or at least be a resource for them, because there's so many hard lessons that you learn over the years, and we didn't really have anybody, you could go to and ask and say, hey, what do you think I should do here? Have you ever had experience with this? Do you know anything about this co-packer? Questions like that. We had a few people we would ask, but not many. And so that's a big goal of ours is this coming year is to make that program bigger and help those guys come up too. And then Malcolm's got the whole Buck Junkies thing where he's really into the hunting and fishing, and he loves that lifestyle of it. So he's been putting a lot more time and effort into that too.
You said Buck Junkies. I did not hear that. I was like, what is he into? What podcast are we going to be launching? Wow. This is all of a sudden I'm keenly interested in where we're going from here. Butt Junkies, hosted by Malcolm Reed. What Christmas or holiday gift are you recommending if people are asking you?
For what to get their pitmaster?
Yeah.
That's always tough. I mean, thermopins are always the first option, or some type of meat probe, meat thermometer. That's to me a great gift. You use those so much. Coolers, dry coolers, Cambros. That's first options. A grill.
From Malcolm Reed's barbecue supply store, preferably.
Yeah, that would be even better.
How's that turning? How's that running?
Whitfield Road.
Are you happy with how the store's turning out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Better than expected?
That is about what we expected. It's a small, we opened it because we really wanted to be part of the community, be able to do events and be able to, maybe pass out free barbecue on a Saturday and, just be part of the community. And so that's been really successful in that way. it was such a bigger undertaking to open a small retail shop in a small town than I ever thought it would be. So it did take up a lot of our time, and that's one thing that we really kind of we have someone else that manages that for us, and we do kind of like turn that over. And they do, we do Santa at the shop, and we, let all the kids come and get a free picture with Santa, get some cookies and some hot cocoa, and we've been doing these local contests where we hold we did a wing contest, a burger contest, a chili contest. So like about every quarter, we're just doing this small local people come to the parking lot and do this quick 1-day contest. And we've been having a lot of fun with those and really like those.
You guys really give a lot back to the community that you're in. I think it speaks volumes to the type of people that you are looking to really do. A lot of folks will get to a point where you guys are at, move, or not want to be involved in the community that much, or try and be a little bit more high profile. You guys continue to reinvest into the places where business is being done, which is certainly admirable. From a podcast standpoint, I mean, I love watching the YouTube videos, of course, from cooking because I like to cook. But I think one of my favorite things every week is tuning into the How to Barbecue Right podcast, because I'm a guy that likes to look behind the scenes as well. So having this type of show hit every week and getting a peek behind the scenes is something great. Do you see that going on extended?
Yeah. I think we enjoy the podcast. It's a great form of marriage counseling, Greg. You can, because you might walk in and be mad at him or something, but by the time the end of the podcast, he's made me laugh, and we've talked about food, and problems are settled and stuff. So,
Rachelle, this has been an absolute treat for me. Appreciate you coming on the show, pulling the whole hour. Malcolm rarely pulls a full hour, so you've already done twice as much work as he does in a month. Anything else I can let you promote or talk about before I turn you loose tonight?
Enjoy that nacho cheese machine.
Oh yes, we are going to enjoy that nacho cheese machine by the 6 pounds of cheese at a time. And it's going to start here in 2 weeks at our first Christmas party. So I'll take pictures and video and shoot you so you can see how we're using it.
Well, thanks for having me on. This has been a lot of fun.
All right, Rachelle, thanks so much for doing it, and have a great Christmas. We thank Malcolm Reed's very accommodating and very engaging wife, Rachelle Reed, for joining us for this full first hour. If you didn't know her, the curtain is now pulled. Looking forward to them recapping that on their show in a couple days. All right, we are pointing to the second hour. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central show right here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.